Welcome to My First Gig, everybody, hosted by me, Ryan Brown. This is a show that explores how professionals entered the workforce and the lessons they learned along the way. Today, our guest is Ashley Diersch. As we'll learn today, she built a career with purpose, passion, and impact. Today, she serves as Chief Advancement Officer at Paws with a Cause, a national nonprofit that transforms lives by training custom-trained assistant dogs for people with disabilities. In this role, Ashley leads fundraising, strategic communications, rebranding, and major campaigns to expand the organization's mission, all while overseeing an advancement team and building partnerships that help drive growth and sustainability. She was recently named a notable leader in philanthropy in 2025 by Grand Rapids. Congratulations,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
In this episode, we'll go back to her first job out of college and trace the through line to where she is now. How those early experiences in nonprofit development shaped her strategic thinking, honed her leadership skills, and prepared her to lead at a higher level. We'll talk about the lessons that stuck, the challenges that pushed her, and the wins that proved she was on the right path. Whether you're starting your first job, planning your next career move, or wondering how to make work meaningful, Ashley's journey offers insight, inspiration, and actionable takeaways. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. The natural first question, obviously, is what was your first gig?
Yeah. So my first gig in high school was I worked at a movie theater, which was great. It smelled like popcorn all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was
That's
amazing.
Awesome. Free movies?
Free movies for you and a friend.
Oh, nice.
Even better,
like
right?
a guest pass.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, and in high school, what else are you spending your money on, really?
Yeah, I know, right,
It was the perfect situation.
How long did you work there?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was
3
there
years.
like a big movie, big blockbuster that sticks out from your time there?
I mean, all the Lord of the Rings movies came out while I
nice.
worked there, and they
Cool.
would do like midnight showings,
Yeah.
and it was so much fun to watch people come get dressed up and like get so into it.
Right.
And then to just be like a bystander in people's excitement
Yeah.
and enthusiasm was
For sure.
really unique.
For sure. What was your role at the movie theater? Or did you do it all?
I did a little bit of everything. I did box office, concession, usher, so you name it. I sold popcorn, I sold tickets, I cleaned up popcorn. For a long time after that, I did not go to a movie theater because I
Oh,
was
really? You just couldn't
over it.
We're sitting here like the smell must have been
I
great.
know.
And you're like, it was a lot after 3 years.
After 3 years, I took a couple year break, but I mean, we spent every waking moment there. If you weren't working, you were taking your friends to the movies because they all wanted to go on your free ticket.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because it's like you had the cool job. So people wanted to just hang out at your job.
Yes.
But you were probably like, I work here.
I don't need to be here another day. But you saw every movie multiple times so that all your friends could get the free tickets.
Yeah.
But it was like a great social place to work, and you had another built-in place to meet friends, and it was definitely a fun job.
So that's more than just a job. That's like your high school experience.
Yeah.
That was like your culture.
I think that it was a part of my life at the time that like really became who I was.
Yeah.
I think like any job does, but you know, you really became part of that community of employees there, and like they were your family. You talked to them all the time.
Yeah.
You spent every waking minute there, like I said, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't like it was hard work.
Yeah.
You're sweeping popcorn. But it definitely stood out as a job that I would remember. And I encourage younger people still in high school. I was like, this is a great job. Go do this. You get to, play too. And so,
That's awesome. Yeah. And where was this in the country, in the world?
Yeah. Southgate, Michigan.
Okay. Got it.
So,
got it.
on the east side of the state.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have to imagine, even though it wasn't hard work, like you were still probably learning the fundamentals of work, right? Like what were the lessons, even at the movie theater, that you took with you for the rest of your career?
Yeah, I mean, customer service is always a tough one because the customer is always right, which is not always the easiest thing to project in like practicality. It's very easy to sit in behind and be like, yep, I know I'm supposed to say the customer is right. And it is very hard when they're not happy with you in that moment to keep smiling. I learned a lot about, the challenges of scheduling with a bunch of, there were tons of us that worked there and trying to navigate how you made everybody's time off requests work, but also what the organization needed as far as coverage. And that changed based on what movies were coming out, because we knew if there were bigger movies, you had to staff more. I got really good at counting money really fast.
Really?
I mean,
That's a handy skill.
When I
You
worked
have
in the
money to
box
count.
office, you were trying to like give change really quickly.
Yeah.
Not something I use on a day-to-day
Yeah,
basis
really.
right now, but
In fundraising, I would imagine that helps sometimes.
most people are giving online now, which
Yeah.
is great. So you're not counting like change for 20s. But after
good.
a while, you got really good at multitasking and trying to pay attention to what was going on around you
Yeah.
and also still providing a customer experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
great.
It was fun.
Yeah. Did you love movies, or was this just like the job that was available?
In full transparency, I wanted to work there because there was a cute boy that worked there.
Oh, nice. And his name was? No, we don't have to out him. Is it your husband now?
No.
Okay. That would have been a nice.
And it didn't get me anywhere.
Okay.
So it didn't matter.
That's funny. That's funny.
What leads you to your first job? You just never know.
Yeah. In high school, who knows what's motivating people?
Yeah. At 15, you're like, I'll do what the cool kids are doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Okay, so from high school, where'd you go after that? Where'd you go to school, or did you go to school? What happened next?
Yeah, I went to Central Michigan University. Thought I wanted to be in physical therapy. I know, fire up chips. It was a great experience. Realized I did not want to go into physical therapy anymore.
Talk to me about that, because that can be just as important, right? As we're figuring out our career, like what we don't want to do is just as important. How did you come to that conclusion?
Yeah, so in high school, I was a pretty competitive figure skater. And so I had gone through physical therapy and thought that was a great career path. It was something I knew. So in high school, I did everything I could to like line myself up with how do I do this later on in life.
Yeah.
And then I think as I got older, I realized that it just it didn't fit my personality and like what I really wanted to do and how I wanted to help people. So I actually took a semester off college.
Okay.
And came home and went to U of M Dearborn, where I met somebody I joined a sorority, and my college advisor had recently started working at March of Dimes in fundraising and turned me on to that fundraising could be a career, and I could take my love of talking and get paid for it. So I was like, how do you not do this? This seems like a win-win situation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So can we spend some time with figure skating before we jump to fundraising? That's I didn't know that. That's super interesting.
Absolutely.
Did you do that like your whole childhood?
I started, I was probably too old for what would be successful nowadays. So I think I started in like 4th grade. Okay. Which, just the Olympics were on just recently, and many of them start as soon as they can walk. Yeah. Which clearly at 4th grade was a little too old. But I skated from 4th grade to my senior year of high school. Okay. Pretty competitively. Wow. I was very lucky that my parents were able to drive me to the ice rink every day after school so I could change into my skating outfit and skates in the car on the way there and literally walk right onto the ice. Wow. And it was so much fun, but I knew I wasn't going to do it in college or after. Right. So when I graduated, I just had kind of made peace with the fact that was a part of my life then, and still love it. Sat at home every night and watched the Olympics. I mean, I was going to ask, so you actually know what's going on when you watch an event like that. I'm just like, holy cow, what are they doing? And it's changed so much. Really? The level of difficulty that the figure skaters are doing now was so different than when I was competitive. Yeah. So yeah, I bet. Yeah. I mean, I have to laugh like when they were showing the replay and the professionals are talking it through and like, you see there, that's where they got dinged a point. I was like, what are you talking about? That looks beautiful. Me, right? Yeah. But could you actually notice those things? I can. And my husband and I were watching and he was like, well, how do you know what jump that is? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I did do them for years. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it's funny. So Tara Lipinski was one of the commentators and I have skated with Tara. Oh, cool. We represented the same skating club when she won the Olympics as where I was skating out of. Oh, wow. Nice. So it's fun to like kind of see some of those connections, and it still brings me a lot of joy to be a part of like being able to watch it and just experience the joy that I can as a spectator. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's you. I feel like you're a very unique spectator of it. Like you actually know it. Again, you know what's going on, and that's super cool. Okay, so March of Dimes would you say that was your first jumping back to fundraising? That was your first kind of
intro into the fundraising world?
Yeah. So when my college advisor shared that's what she did and that it could be a job, I was like, this is such a unique way to help people. And I knew that I wanted to have a career that made impact on people's lives. And I just didn't know that that was really an option that I could use and a love for party planning and talking to people and be able to turn that around and be able to then change people's lives through something like that versus being a doctor or nurse and actually like being the person to change their life.
Those people got to get paid somehow.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so then did you study that in school? Like how does one hone their fundraising skills?
I took a lot of luck. So I'm not that old, but I'm old enough that there wasn't like a college degree in nonprofit management. There is now. Yeah. But there wasn't then. So I got a degree in public relations, communications and journalism.
Yeah, right.
It seems like the best way. I wasn't super into numbers, so business didn't seem as applicable.
Besides counting the money.
Counting the money was important. But I was like, when am I going to read a P&L? Which I actually do read them. But like when you're, 20, you're like, I'm never going to need to know a P&L sheet. So I went the communications route. It felt more the people side of the job.
Right.
And got lucky enough that my first job, and I still talk about this with my family, that I took a risk and I said, I'm going to go into fundraising. There's not a lot of like practical internships or ways that you can learn it. Yeah. And felt really, really lucky that it was a career that I actually really enjoyed doing and was fun. And I was able to make the impact that I wanted. And, you kind of don't always know. You pick a career path so early on and you're kind of like, hopefully this is when I'm actually doing it, it'll be something that I enjoy. Yeah, right. And 20 years later, here I am and still love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so what was your first professional job in fundraising?
So it took me about a year after I graduated, but got a job at Special Olympics Michigan in Metro Detroit. Yeah. Awesome. And I did development. So I worked primarily with corporate sponsors and then moved into their signature event for the law enforcement torch run, which was the polar plunges, and planned 8 of them.
Yes. 8 polar plunges? 8.
At the time, the organization was doing like 30 of them, and I worked on 8 of them.
Wow. That's a lot. Okay, so talk to me about the logistics of planning a polar plunge. I feel like we all know what it is, and it's like, oh, that's a fun thing, but I imagine there's a lot of hard work that goes into that.
Yeah, it's, I think, a little more complicated than people think because it's an event that takes place in the middle of the winter in freezing cold water, and so you have to be able
dangerously cold water.
Yes, and you have to be able to provide changing areas and party logistics and an environment that people are going to feel good about after they jump into freezing cold water.
Right, yeah.
And then you have to compel them enough to give money. Yeah. So, it's a unique event, but it was a bucket list item. So a lot of people really wanted to do it.
Oh, for sure.
And it was fun to try and build some of those things from the earlier stages in their life cycle, and how do you get people who aren't familiar with Special Olympics connected to the mission? Yeah. How do you get them to fundraise money? What works? What doesn't? Yeah. How do you build some, community around the people who are participating in the event? And then how do you still make it fun for people?
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. That's really interesting. How many polar plunges? How many times have you been in freezing cold water?
I jumped every year that I worked there, so at least 8. And then I continued to jump maybe 2 or 3 times after I stopped working there. Okay. I got lucky enough.
I'm addicted.
Yes. It's not so bad. That sounds really easy to say. Yeah. It's really not as bad as people think. But my husband and I also met through Special Olympics, so he still jumps every year, and so I would go with him.
Nice.
So, yeah.
How'd you meet your husband? Can I ask?
He was a volunteer for Special Olympics. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a cute story.
It worked out really well for us.
I guess.
Yeah.
I think I told you my wife's from Minnesota, and she lives near Lake Minnetonka, and they also have a polar plunge. Yeah. And her and all three of her sisters have done it multiple times. COVID, unfortunately, kind of killed it up there. So, but there was one year we really wanted to do it over the holidays, so we did our own hole. And we did it ourselves. So I've been in once.
There was one year we did it here in Grand Rapids at our Reed's Lake one. And I don't think they do it at Reed's Lake anymore, but they had to cut a hole in the ice. And it broke 3 chainsaws trying to cut the hole in the ice. The ice was so thick.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of them are really cold.
Yeah.
I think I jumped, the coldest it was when I jumped was like 9 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
And then the warmest I've jumped, it was like 70.
Yeah.
So not really a polar plunge then.
Yeah, no, that's a big swing.
Yeah. It's Michigan. You never know what you're going to get.
No,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what did you learn on that first job that stuck with you your whole career? That's kind of a broad question, but broad on purpose.
Yeah, I think, it's tough as somebody who likes to talk. I really had to learn to sometimes not talk as much, which is a hard thing to do when you're a natural extrovert, and to listen, especially working with people who you're trying to get them excited about the cause. And so trying to learn what would make them excited, what did they need, how did they want to be involved.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I learned was, yes, you like to talk, so turn those into questions that then you can ask people instead of just talking to talk.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, listening is just as important, right?
Yeah, which is hard.
Yeah, it can be very hard. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so what, when you had that job, was that the dream job? Like you were like, I'm doing fundraising and this is how I get to the dream job? Or were you just like, this is a good job right now and I'll get there eventually? Like explain to me how that kind of related to how you thought about the rest of your career.
Yeah. I think for me, I've been really lucky that at every iteration of my career, with the exception of one, I've been able to say the job I'm in is the dream job for me right now. Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't think that happens for most people. And each job was like the right job for the phase of life and the phase of my career that I was in. And when I worked at Special Olympics, it was great. It got to combine my love for sports and my love for fundraising into one. And then really getting to see our athletes, the athletes of Special Olympics, be able to succeed and be a part of some of the competitions that they were, to be able to see their joy and, having an opportunity to experience like putting a medal around somebody's neck was just an incredible feeling.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's really cool. Okay, so from Special Olympics, where to next on Ashley's career journey? Yeah,
I moved to Kids Food Basket, and I was at Kids Food Basket for about a decade.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What? I mean, obviously it was the same similar job, right? Still fundraising, but was there one key skill or one key lesson you learned that you brought with you to that one?
Yeah, when I was looking to leave, I probably could have stayed at Special Olympics Michigan my entire life. There were some things that I really wanted to get experience in from a fundraising aspect, and so that drove my departure there. And I was really excited to be a part of the Feeding Our Future Capital campaign to build their new building here in Kent County. I guess it's not new anymore. They moved in 2019. Yeah. So it's not new. But it was great to be a part of that, and really I got to grow a lot more into the strategy and understand how to do a lot more forecasting, a lot more of the okay, in 3 years, this is where we want to be. Now, how do we get to that position? Right. Yeah,
more strategic thinking and not just taking out of stuff. Yeah, for sure. This might be an awkward question, but at what point did you feel comfortable asking people for money? You know what I mean by that? Because I feel like sometimes that can be an uncomfortable conversation, but clearly you're very good at it. So you don't have to answer that. We can cut that if you want, but you know what I'm asking? Like that can be an uncomfortable moment, but you're asking for important stuff. So I'm just curious, like how did you deal with that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is most unique is if I'm doing my job right, the asking for the money part is the easiest part. Right. Because if I'm listening to what drives them, how they got involved, why they want to get involved, then I already know what they're going to say yes or no to. And so then I'm just presenting an opportunity. And if I again, if I've listened correctly, I'm presenting an opportunity that I already know they're going to say yes to.
Yep.
So it's great to be able to say, okay, this person really loves education, so let's bring them this opportunity. Or this person is doing it because they love dogs so much that this is what they want. And so then it becomes less of an actual ask. So it's more of just like, we know you're really passionate about this. Is this something you would consider?
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Okay, so now you're at Paws with a Cause.
Yes.
Tell me about what you guys do there and your role specifically.
Yeah, so we train custom trained dogs to be assistance dogs for clients with individuals, or facility dogs for our community. So much more places like schools, hospitals, community organizations, things like that. But we custom train them. My job there is overseeing fundraising, our marketing, communications, and
that's a lot of hats.
It's no small feat. We're a national organization, so we cover the entire country, which is a little bit larger. Every organization I've been at is a little bit smaller, so you're kind of a little more focused. And now we're trying to figure out, how do we get brand exposure in Florida or Ohio?
Wait, so Paws with a Cause is a national company, but you guys are headquartered here.
Yes.
Oh, because interesting. Because I mean, I grew up in Grand Rapids, so I was familiar with what you guys do and the organization. I thought it was I would have thought if you would have asked me, I said, oh, that must be in New York. Like they do so much good stuff and work with so many people.
I know, and I think because we're based in Wayland, people don't think of like a national organization based out of Wayland, but you are. We are. Wow. We are a fairly small team. I mean, we're a big team, but for a national size organization, we're about 70 people.
Wow.
I have a team of 3 others, and then whatever fractional component of my job you want to say for marketing and communications.
Right.
And a good sized team of fundraisers, but we're 100% charitably funded.
Wow.
In that sense, like there's no government funding. And so, to train and place all the dogs that we're doing is a lot. We just completed a $10.5 million capital campaign and redid 2/3 of our facility. Thank you. They raised all the money before I started, which is great. I got to throw the party side of it. But we have over 400 active teams between our facility teams and our client teams in over 30 states in the country.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you travel a lot? Do you have to go to all the states?
I don't have to. We're trying to travel more to make sure that we're representing ourselves correctly and get more visibility in the community. Even here within West Michigan, I think we have good brand recognition. Yeah. But I don't think people fully realize the depth and the breadth of the work that we're doing. So we're trying to continue to understand.
Exhibit A. I was like, I didn't really.
Well, and I didn't either. Until I started doing my research to work there, because it is. I mean, you just don't realize how big the organization is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the event side of your business. This is really a selfish question, but what makes a good event?
Yeah. I think there's a way to do an event that makes people feel like it fits that organization. There was a year I went to a couple of events where they all had people doing like the ribbon aerial work. Yeah. And I was like, tell me how that relates to your organization.
It's cool and all, but like,
how do you make it feel like they walk away saying they learned a lot about the org? It was engaging, but still educational.
Right.
And so I think if you can find that right mix of the person who's there, the guest who's there can say like, wow, this event opened my eyes so much to the organization in such a unique and fun way that they go home and they talk about it and they say, you should go to this event next year. Yeah. Like that's the feeling that I want to leave people with.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what were you doing right before Paws?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I think I took a 3-month sabbatical.
Oh.
And
nice.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Did you just enjoy the not working part of it? Or was there like, I'm sure there was probably a lot of introspection in there.
There was. If I could do things over, I would have taken it in the summer so that I could have had.
When did you take it?
It was like September, October, November.
Oh, hey, that's not too bad. Fall in Michigan's nice,
But July, August would have been a better time to be out at the beach and all that. But I did a lot to really reflect back on, like, what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to work? And I knew I still wanted to be in fundraising, but the questions I was asking myself were like, what's the mission that's important to you?
Sure.
Do you want to be on site? Do you want remote work? Yeah. How big of an organization do you want? How small? Like, what are you trying to, what matters to you actually in work versus like, oh, this job looks fun. And I think those are important questions to make sure. And I think when you can answer those yourself, then when you go to an interview or you're looking at your next job, I could actually ask questions that were more reflective versus just like, tell me about your organization, which is great. And you have to ask those, but it was like, okay, how do you handle advancement opportunities as far as people who want career growth or what's the flexibility look like? And not in a way that's like, oh, I just want to work from home, but like what does real flexibility in your job look like and how do you balance those things?
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. So you are pro sabbatical.
I am pro sabbatical. I don't know that I would have thought that before, but I also feel like it took me a good month to like turn everything off.
Right.
The second month was really focused on like, what do I actually want? So then the third month I could actually have clarity in the job search.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Did you do like a dark mode? Like, did you just go into a cave for a while, or was it all just kind of like?
I did. I read 100 books that year, and
Shut up, 100 books?
I would say most of them happened when I was on sabbatical.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive. I don't know. My goal this year is 4.
Okay, you can do it.
I'm close.
Where are you at now?
I think. Well, it depends. Like I read The Pearl by John Steinbeck, which is like 50 pages. So I don't know if that counts. But if you count that one, I'm at like 2 or 3. So I'm going to crush it.
Can you read kids' books? That counts.
If that counted, I'd be at 1,000.
See?
I might cheat and count those.
Those count. Those count.
I appreciate it.
It helps if you read more than one children's book and not the same one over and over
That's
and over
the thing.
again.
We do tend to read Pete the Cat a million times, but we'll get to new books eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question. If you could pick one piece of advice to give your younger self, not a very original question, but I think it's an interesting one. The one piece of advice you could give your younger self, what would it be?
Find a job you love.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's not working, don't stay in it. Find a job you love.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, what a better way to end.
Easy.
Ashley Diersch, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Ashley is the Chief Advancement Officer at Paws with the Cause, a national nonprofit that transforms lives by training custom-trained assistance dogs for people with disabilities. If you'd like to donate, please visit pawswiththecause.org.
Wow, what an interesting first gig. If you enjoyed today's journey through the early career stages of our guests, please subscribe on your podcast service of choice. We appreciate your support and love hearing from you. Feel free to leave a review or send us your feedback. It helps us bring more inspiring stories your way. Join us next time for another insightful episode, and remember, every great career journey starts with a single step. This is My First Gig, brought to you by Truscott Rossman and Say More.